It's now time for NRG This Week. NRG stands for Network Referral Group. To learn more about NRG, go to their website, nrg.online. It's now time for another episode of NRG This Week.
Good afternoon. This is Mike Weiner with another episode of NRG This Week. It is April Fool's Day. Can't believe it's second quarter. Time flies when you're having fun. But anyway, I usually do this show with Leon Thomas. He will not be here today. We're going to have a special guest that I'm going to bring on in about 2 minutes. I do want to invite all of you on Friday, 2 days from now, April 3rd, 2026. We are going to talk about my new TV show. We don't have all the details yet, but we're going to bring networking to the world. And I'm super excited about this. I've been doing NRG now. I'm in my 26th year. I ran live meetings for 20 years. And since COVID, we've been online. I now run 30. That's a lot of Zooms. When you come to your first meeting, you get 3 referrals. Once you join, you get 30. And I'm all about law of attraction, serving people, and love what I do. I wouldn't do this for 2.5 decades unless I loved it. So I'm excited about our guest. I actually met her on LinkedIn, and the timing was right. She was looking to get back into networking. So, Courtney, I'm going to bring you out. I always joke that it's Studio 54 in honor of that was the disco studio in New York back in the day. So, Courtney, welcome. Great to have you here. We're not going to do any April Fool's jokes. I'm going to set that up right now. I did a joke this morning that Norman Wasserman was going to run NRG from now, and I was going to retire, but that was the joke. So, Courtney, how are you doing on this beautiful, it's 80 degrees in Maryland. I'm sure it's warm in Virginia. How are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful, very grateful. And it's funny that you said that it's 80 and it's probably good over here because just now it was raining cats and dogs.
Wow. That must be one of those, in summer we get those pop-up storms. It's like the day is nice and then all of a sudden, boom. And sometimes you get a rainbow and it comes back. So, yeah. Courtney, I got to tell you, you and I have really got to know each other. You're one state away from me. I'm in Maryland. You're in Virginia. Take 2-3 minutes. And by the way, this is live and we're recording it. So people may see this now. They may see it in a week, a month, 5 years, 10 years. So it kind of stands the test of time. But Courtney, take 2 minutes. Talk a little bit about what you do for our viewing audience.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, everybody. I am from Virginia, and I run a full digital marketing agency where I help businesses to rank and get traffic in their area. I specialize in SEO, website development, Google business profiles, social media, pretty much anything that pertains to their online presence is where I step in to help. And one of the unique things about me is that one of my main targets is animal care. So people who are veterinarians, doggy daycare, groomers, pretty much a lot of those fields is where I love to work with, mainly because I have a background in that area. So I did go to school for biology and got a degree for that and animal behavior. And then I was also a vet tech and I used to work at the zoo for quite a while. So that is where my main focus is.
You worked at a zoo. Which zoo did you work at?
It was the Philadelphia Zoo in Philadelphia. Pretty much the biggest zoo.
It's funny because I've been to the Baltimore Zoo. I've been to the DC Zoo. We went up to Philly and we hit so much traffic. We wanted to run the steps where Rocky was. We did that. We wanted to get a cheesesteak sub. We didn't have time for that. And we wanted to go to the zoo and we ran out of time. So next time we go there, maybe they sell cheese. Do they sell cheesesteak subs inside the zoo? That's one of my favorite items to eat.
So one of the things that they do sell, I don't remember ever having cheesesteaks. My main thing of what I got was the fries and the chicken fingers. So that was
That still
my
sounds
main
good.
thing. Things, it has been like 10 years since I last been there, so maybe they upped their menu, but I can guarantee most of the stuff you see is like food stand, like a concession food,
I
basically.
got you. I got you. Well, Tanya and I will definitely have to get up there.
Please do.
What
It's
I got a
amazing.
question for you.
Yeah.
I don't think you were 3 years old and you said, I'm going to be a digital marketer. What's the backstory? This is one of my favorite questions. Why did you get into digital marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously, my whole life I was working with animals. My plan wasn't to get into anything digital marketing. I didn't even know what it was until like a year and a half ago. But at my job, I loved working with animals, but I wasn't getting the growth, the recognition, and just the things that I needed. And it was that time for me to start looking for something else, but obviously I didn't know what else I would do. My whole life I've always been animals. I was very strict, but I just did a bunch of research and just researching things, and then I stumbled across an article that talked about digital marketing, and I looked at it and said, oh, this looks pretty interesting. So I decided to meet up with one of the coaches, sat down with him over Zoom. He really liked my vibe, said that, hey, I think you'd be a really good fit with our students. How about you join? And it was a great opportunity, but I was very, very scared because one, I don't know anything about digital marketing. I didn't think that I would succeed, and it was extremely expensive. So I honestly was very, very iffy on that. So I had two options. I had two choices. Either I say no and I continue to stay exactly where I'm at and be miserable and nothing changes, or I take that risk on something that could change my life and turn it around. And I ended up taking that risk and ended up falling in love with it. Honestly, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And now, a year and a half, here we are.
That's awesome. So, you talked about being scared. A lot of business owners, a lot of them got thrust into running their own business after COVID. I've been doing this 26 years. I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit. When you were scared, because you don't come across as scared as long as I've known you, what got you from being scared to being the success that you are today?
Honestly, when you think about fear in terms of things, you really have to think like the fear of me staying the same was a lot greater than the fear of me taking that risk. So that's when it has to come. It all comes down to that. And honestly, at the time, I didn't understand that, but the program that I'm a part of, it's like I have a mentor, and he's basically the reason why I am. I'm the reason why you don't think I'm as scared is because he's doing a good job at teaching me to be more confident. And honestly, with all of the networking I've done too, it's also increased my confidence and me not being scared with a lot of things, because honestly, fear is a good thing. Honestly, it's fear shows that what you want is on the other side of that. And if you can get past that, then you can have pretty much anything you want, which is what I'm starting to realize. But I hope that answered your question.
No, it did. And you know what? I love that you kind of pit one fear against another fear, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a really big teaching point. You got past. I mean, I've had mine along the way, different things. You might not think it, but yeah, we all get things thrown at us. I remember when COVID hit and we couldn't do live meetings anymore, and there was a time where I was like, well, "Are we going to shut down?"
Yeah.
And I actually was coming back or getting ready to have surgery for triple bypass, and I got a phone call from Jennifer Garcia, who does Reiki in Maryland, and she goes, "Mike, we can't meet anymore." I said, "It's because of COVID, isn't it?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "What are we going to do?" She goes, "We're going to go to Zoom." I said, "I don't like Zoom." And I used to sell copiers. She goes, "You want to go back to selling copiers?" She threw a bigger fear at me, and I said, "We're going to Zoom. Let's do it, baby." And I could use baby because she and I are good friends. So she took it in the vein. And that was a defining decision. So everyone has those moments where it's like, all right, yeah, I won't say blank or get off the pan, but sometimes you got to make that move. So
Yeah.
it's a big thing. Digital marketing. I know you do websites. You mentioned social media. To me, social media is Facebook, LinkedIn, maybe TikTok. Is it more than that? Is it posting X amount of times? Is there like a strategic plan that you have when someone comes to you and goes, I need a new website and I need someone to do social media? What does that look like on the social media part?
Sure. Yeah. So someone comes to me and they want to do social media. First, I have to analyze and take a look at what they're currently doing, because I won't be able to come up with a plan if I don't know where they currently are. So figure out where they're at, and honestly just reassuring them that it's okay, that it's a little too much for them, because honestly when a business owner focuses on too many things at once, it can cause burnout. And honestly, the same thing is said with social media. I always recommend for business owners, especially if you're solo, focus on one social media platform. And the platform you want to use, you will be able to determine that by your target audience. So, say for instance, if your target is, children, right? You're going to want to tackle on the social media platforms that kids gravitate to the most. Maybe not Facebook. Obviously, we have kids on there, but kids love YouTube, kids love TikTok. So those are the two main areas you want to pick. You choose out of those two. And then, we also look for someone who's doing exactly what you want, like someone who's successful at what they're doing. You take a look at that and then you follow that. And the reason why is because success leaves clues. If it worked for them, then it should work for you. So you look at what they're doing, how long their videos are, how often are they posting, right? So you take a look and account for all of those different things when you make a game plan of how often and how much and what to post about. And it helps a lot because people think that they have to start from scratch. And it's like, no, just follow someone who's already doing it and just implement that.
When you were talking just now about analyzing what they're doing, it made me think of something I learned a few years ago. It's kind of cool. Prescription without diagnosis is malpractice.
Exactly.
You ever heard that before?
Isn't that cool? That's what we're taught. Yeah.
I love that. So I'm going to ask you two more questions, and then we're going to take a commercial break. Without mentioning their name, obviously, give us a client testimonial. Someone that you've helped out, maybe you doubled their revenue or attracted more clients or client retention or 30% growth. Give it, because there's people watching, Courtney. They're going to reach out to you. They're going to reach out to me. But give us an example of a client testimonial.
Absolutely. So I'll give one of my first clients that I've had. Niche was home cleaning service. Reached out to the person, sent out. So I normally do free business audits for any person I work with or people I don't work with in general. I send out a free audit, send that over to them. They were really interested, met up with them, and just wanted some content updated on the website, right? So that's what I did. I did all the keyword research and I put it into content and I placed it onto his website. This man went from being on the second page to being ranked number 1 and within a month. So he did all of that within a month with the information that I did. And he loved it so much that he said, hey, can you actually just redo my entire website? So I said, sure. So I ended up redoing his entire website. And not only that, I also helped him with his business profile and got this man from ranking into the top 3 results for that business profile as well. So he was a very, very good case because he was my first client. And it was amazing. He was really great. I still am actually in contact with him at this moment, helping him out with things as well. So he really enjoyed my services. And it was a really, really good testimonial for me.
That is awesome. I love that story. That's great. All right, I'm going to ask you a really fun question. NRG testimonial. You've been with me. I reached out to you, and you had taken a break from networking, and I'm going to let you pick it up from there. What was your thought when you saw my message on LinkedIn? Because not everyone responds to me, but you did, and you showed up. What was your thought process from when I reached out to you to coming to the meeting to getting 3 referrals? Then I blew your phone up with 30. Kind of walk us through when the first time I reached out, where you were at, and what your testimonial has been, because you've done extremely well in NRG, and I'm super proud. I feel good because I reached out to you. You and I had never met before, even though we're neighboring states, and the weather can be raining where you are and sunny where I am. Take us through that. Take 2-3 minutes and share that for us.
Yes, sure, absolutely. So, and to give context for why I had stopped networking for a bit, so I used to do cold call. I did cold calling at that point. Absolutely hated it. And then I tried networking, tried Alignable and everything. And at first I didn't get it and I just ran away. I said, nope, I can't do this. I said it was too much for me. It was very overwhelming. So I ended up not doing it. And then I said, okay, here we were talking about the fears again. I said, either I go back to cold calling or I figure it out with networking. And I guess I decided to choose the networking. So I ended up giving it another shot. And then for some reason, it just clicked. I was like, oh, I get it now. So I started to go into more of the Alignable events. But the thing is, I started getting into a lot of other networking stuff too. And I started to do networking quite a lot. So I was doing it from Monday to Friday, probably Saturday, from sun up to sundown. And it was starting to take a toll on me because I was there constantly. And I ended up burning myself out. So from there, I ended up needing to take a break from it. And then like a few months passed. And then that's when I was starting to think, I should probably get back into networking, but should I still do the Alignable thing or should I do something else? And then that's when Mike reached out to me. Like, it was just on cue. And my initial thoughts was I was pretty excited. I was pretty excited because I was like, oh my gosh, this could be a good opportunity for me. I mean, I'm just checking it out. I have nothing to lose. So I ended up trying it out and ended up meeting a lot of people. It was a very different environment. It was so different. Ended up really enjoying it. And obviously you gave me 3 when I first joined, when I first came. And then when I joined, you gave me the 30. A little 30 was a little too much. So I was asking you to space it out throughout the 3 weeks. And like months passed, and I think I ended up getting 4 clients from you so far. So 4 clients from NRG. It's been a great experience. So that's kind of just like a testimony of how everything happened.
I love that, Courtney. That was awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
It's been a fun ride. So we are going to take a commercial break, and these commercials are done by the interns here. And I do want to mention Leon's Racquetball Revival. Leon teaches kids from, 6, 7 years old up into their 60s or 70s, racquetballrevival.com. That is Leon's right there on the screen. But Courtney, we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, I've got a couple more questions for you, and we're going to talk sports. We always talk sports. So think about who your favorite baseball or football team is, if you have one, and if you don't, you might have to say the Ravens, and then you're on my side. So we will be right back after this commercial break.
At Rod's Car Repairs, we work on all cars, old cars, new cars, and your car. Car Repairs by Rod.io.
Baked by Brianna has been your Baltimore hometown bakery since 1969. Located in Roxton Plaza, Baked by Brianna. Visit bakedbybrianna.io.
From the creative team that brought you the Browning Project and Dead by Morning comes a new thriller that will change the way you look at white-collar crime forever. Falling from the Sky.
Water. It's everywhere. We drink it, we bathe with it, we cook with it. Coffee's made with water. Toilets won't flush without it. It's used for washing clothes, dishes, utensils, pots, pans, floors, and our teeth. Plants and crops need water, animals drink it, and fish need it too. And don't forget, we can have a lot of fun in the water. Water. What will we do without it?
I'm Leon Thomas with the Leon Thomas Group. Podcast, virtual events, webinars, streaming shows, and so much more. We want to be your partner in all things virtual.
Hey, Mike Weiner here with NRG This Week, along with Courtney, and we're talking websites, we're talking social media. Courtney, my favorite question, what have I not asked you that you would like to talk about? It can be personal, it can be business, it can be a distinct area of your business that we don't talk about. Take 2-3 minutes and share with us something different. Could be another testimonial, could be something that you do marketing-wise. I'll leave it up to you.
Sure. Let's see. I guess I can give a a marketing tip to any business owners out there. So one of the very important things for a business owner to have, whether solopreneurs or many other business owners, is to have a Google Business Profile. I know that it is not really talked about a lot because a lot of people do not understand like who can have a business profile and like what it can do for you. But business profiles are in fact very, very beneficial to a business, especially for creatives. Like it's a very, very good thing to have. And it's also free to have one up. It's basically free advertisement for yourself. And the reason why it's important to have is because, as again, it's free advertising. And nowadays Google is starting to prioritize Google business profiles. So because that's what most people click on, that's what we click on. And to define what a Google business profile, whenever you search up something, say for instance, you're looking up, I don't know, steak houses near me to go out to eat. And then you get like a bunch of recommendations with a map that shows you a location on the side. That's basically what a Google business profile is. And people click on those things 9 times out of 10. So that's where most people click. So because that's where most people click, it's best to get into that. Area, and to know if you should is to see what your competition is doing. Look up your business and what you're doing, and look up your area and see if there are other people in your field doing that. And if you see at least 3 or more, then it is a good idea to consider having a business profile. Any other tips or questions? I do free consults. I do all those free things to give tips out. So I'm the person to come to ask for those questions.
Awesome. Good marketing tip. I love it. Courtney, how often should someone update their website? Is it by years? Is it by technology? Is it case by case? Have you seen some websites like from the 1800s? This is not going to fly anymore. Is there kind of like a time point, or is it case by case?
Honestly, it depends. I would say update it as often as you can. It doesn't need to be as often as like a business profile. Like a business profile, you want to be having updates at least once a week, right? You want to have updates for that. But at least for a website, you want to have something, you want to be able to show Google that you're being consistent. It doesn't mean you need to be every day, every week, maybe updating something at least once a month. And obviously seasonal things can change too. It honestly just really depends. That's why it's very important to have someone handle that for you, because business owners don't have the time for that. They don't have the time for that. They don't feel like doing that. So it's best to just bring someone on that can update those type of things for you and be in the loop, because they're going to know what needs to be changed, what needs to be kept in, what needs to go, just stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about that, and you can focus your time on doing what you actually love, if that makes sense.
Good advice. How has AI kind of come into play with you? Is it come into play a lot with developing a website, or is it a non-factor? Sometimes I think AI is good. Sometimes I think it's not good. Sometimes I think it's overemphasized. Has it been you can't go anywhere. You hear these 2 letters together,
Yeah.
AI, artificial intelligence. It's like, okay. Sometimes you feel like it's just a lot of attention. So has it come into play really, Courtney, for your business, or is it kind of a non-factor?
Absolutely. To answer your question, and yeah, it's AI is becoming very, very huge to the point where if you don't implement it, you're going to get left behind. Google is very, very much so obsessed with AI. You know, they obviously have Gemini, things like that. So any websites, any things that you have, those things are becoming a lot more imperative to have AI in it, because that's what Google is starting to look at now. But AI can be a good thing. It can also be a bad thing. It depends on how you're using it and what you're using it for, in my humble opinion. But if it's used correctly, it can be amazing if it's used correctly. But Google is really starting to prefer businesses that use AI. They're starting to see that. They're starting to look at that. So we have to implement it, or otherwise we get left behind. And you don't want to get left behind, because you're going to end up losing your customers, your clients, to other people who are doing those things.
Good point. All right, Courtney, here we're down to the last question. Do you have a favorite baseball or football team? And if you don't, it defaults to the Orioles and the Ravens. I'm messing with you, but
You
do you
are
have a favorite
good.
sports team?
You are good. Darn, I'm not good with sports. Like, I like to play sports, even though I'm basic at it. I like to play sports, but in terms of watching it and everything, I'm more of a video game person. So
Video game.
I
Okay.
can I can go all day about video games.
You would get along with my oldest son. He turns 30 in August. Big gamer. That's what they're called, right? You're called gamers.
Called gamers.
Big gamer.
I'm more of like the casual. I'm not a hardcore, because there's two. There's like the hardcore and there's the casual one. I'm more of the casual, but sports, I'm not the best with. If anyone asks me for a favorite, I just go with one that has an animal on it. So I go for one that has the closest thing to a cat.
I got you.
I like Ravens though, so I can pick your team too.
All right, there you go. I was just gonna say it defaults. So all right,
I'll pick the Ravens.
I got you. Well, Courtney, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on. We've been talking about doing this for a while, and what was it, a week ago? I'm like, we gotta have you on NRG this week. So I've been doing this, I think, 3 years now, and still haven't had every member. And I say I hand select who I bring in here. They got to be active and positive. You know how I roll.
Yeah.
Someone that's just not into that. You got to be. You become who you associate with.
That is true.
That. The 5 people you hang out with the most, you're going to become like that. So if you hang out with people that are just not doing stuff in life, that's what's probably going to happen. Just like you said, you're going to be left behind. Yeah, I always look for people that are at my level and above, where I can learn. So, Courtney, it's been great having you here. I'm going to wrap up here, but thank you for being here. Appreciate you, and we will definitely catch up soon. So I'm going to wrap us up. I'm going to thank everybody for watching. Leon, you are back about 25 years, and definitely jump on this my Zoom Friday. I'm going to say the Zoom number slowly. It's 367-333-9689. No password. And I'm excited to talk about the TV show. Orgina Rose is helping me with that. And we've got a lot of big plans to bring networking to the world. There has never been a TV show that we're aware of that has talked about networking and brought on the members and so forth. So I'm pumped about that. I'm excited about that. We never know where that's going to lead, but Tanya and I have been working with Orgina for about 5-6 weeks and planning and the content and things like that. So definitely reach out to me if you haven't so far. Come to a meeting. We are growing rapidly. And my cell number is 443-756-9656. You can reach me on email, mike@networkreferralgroup.com, or the website is nrg.online. We updated the website 14 months ago. It's April now. So on behalf of Leon, and I thank Jay for producing this, it's Mike Weiner here. I'm going to say goodbye for now. Have a great April 1st, April Fool's Day 2026, and we will see you next week. Have a great week. Thank you.